Hello again, this is Chaff Commander Coffee, back with another episode of Dominions4, Thrones of Ascension. It is early fall in Year 7 of the Ascension Wars, and apparently it wasn't too eventful in this particular turn. We'll go over it as per, and see what's happening, or what isn't happening, probably more appropriately. So, found a load more summoned units, which we will be using very shortly. Urathi has cast Dark Knowledge, no new magic sites found. Haruspex, no new magic sites found. Still no magic sites, no. Unfortunately we didn't find any new magic sites, which is a bit of a shame, but doesn't matter. We got a few more blood slaves in Brightgate, but not very many. We're going to go through our blood hunting provinces, see if we can't pick up a few more. We can start blood hunting here again, no problem. It's only 9 unrest. Syria, no unrest. That means blood hunting shall resume. Saltnoham, no unrest. We shall resume our blood hunting here. And in Mexico, it is at 37 still, so I'll hold off on a few more turns blood hunting there. Go through the messages again. We have our undefended province in Dryfields has been conquered by the Medians, which again not too bothered by. They may try to move to the chambers underneath, but we have quite a lot of province defense here because the cavemen are surprisingly scary once they do get in melee. So we will probably be alright. If they decide to move into the underground, we have put a fortress up on the throne. So we should be fine there. Like all the thrones we need to control have fortresses on them, so it shouldn't be a problem. We also have unexpected. Oh well, the siege in Emilzar continues, but we are awakening Vinemen, which should allow the fortress to last a little bit longer. It looks like they did send a larger force here, since we dropped about 200 defense points. So I don't think awakening Vinemen is going to do very much for us, but we'll do it anyway, just to try and hold them off for as long as we can. Slow them down. Killed a bunch of brigands, and we have unexpected events. Water gems in Epernia, as per usual. In Underspring, a tribal chief from a distant land has donated gold and a precious item to the awakening god. 109 gold and an ice sword, which is nice, I suppose. And in Kunal, peasants speak of ill omens and strange creatures that prowl the forests at night. A handful of death gems have been found in the belly of a goat. 11 death gems. It's pretty good. Although we did get 25 unrest, but 2 extra magic in the province. So let's just take a quick look at Kunal. It's in sort of no man's land. I'm not 100% certain this province will stay within our control for much longer, but that's no problem. Not a bad event overall. I'd say that was a pretty good event, so that's nice. Right, other than that, no battles. So, well, no battles because we didn't actually fight. We just lost a few provinces, which is not a problem. So here we have Lift Razor's army, and we're going to keep them moving to Uzad Yazran. Oh, it's because I believe, do we not have a, we do have, that's odd, we do have a fort here, roads here, but they can't move straight into, it's because Uzad Yazran is a wasteland. Well, that's fine. We'll move them into Nom and try and pick up... we have a laboratory here as well, so we don't need to build the laboratory in Uzad Yazran, so Sard can just move to the Forest of Gila. It's no problem. I thought they'd be able to move there in one turn, but they can't. Not a problem. We can pick up a few more units from Nom. In fact, what we'll do is we'll recruit a large number of elite skirmishers just to really bulk the force up, since we won't need that gold for building laboratories. And over here we have our wizards who were Solve can capture the throne. Let's do that right now. These wizards can go back to research. We're running low on water gems. There's not too much we can do with them right now. We should have plenty of Seeking Goblets lying around for use. What else do we need to do? Let's see. Okay, we have our force down here now. Now we're a few turns off being able to move on the Lake of Fortune, so I'll leave them in Moonsea. And the main reason for this is if Lunawati decides to attack Blue Waters or Moonsea itself. Now if they attack Blue Waters, we need to intercept them before they attack Numecria, because we need to make sure we keep the Throne of the Stars. If they did manage to capture it, we could easily recapture it, but that would put our expansion plans into Lake Fortune on hold, which I'd rather not do. So let's just make sure this army is correctly set up. So we've got our 2 lines of terracotta soldiers. We have our barbarian horde here. I think I'm going to set the terracotta soldiers into box, because we need to make sure there's enough room. In fact, I'm going to mix... Okay. I'm going to have them in just on this flank. The reason why is I want to have plenty of room for the war elephant and others to move through on this flank. So we'll do that. These cavalry don't need to be in that formation. They can just go... I'm going to have them go in front of the war elephant and set them to attack rear straight away. That should help. We have a few demons here. I'm just going to have them set to attack closest and put them just behind the chaff units. In fact, these demons can act as a sort of bulk reinforcement instead. And this large force of terracotta soldiers can be a bit of a HP pool for our units. We'll have this Pontifex move back here on cast. We don't have any water mages in this army, which means that they might have some difficulties finding useful spells to use in the upcoming battles. But that's not a problem. We need them to transport magical beings, i.e. the terracotta soldiers, if nothing else. That looks about right. So if we look at our battle line, it's sort of... the problem with underwater combat is, since ranged weapons are not really a thing, you kind of just have to engage in a melee and just see what happens. Mages make more of the bulk of your ranged units. I do want to make sure the revenants are... I'm going to have them sort of in the gaps of our army, so that they can reinforce the front line with hordes of skeletons before the main force of terracotta units and the demons engage. We'll just try and chaff them up with a few undead on top of that, see what happens. They should reduce our actual casualties. We'll come back to you, Burial, in a moment. Maggoth has arrived in golem range, and we're going to equip him with... That gives cold resistance. Now, giving him cold resistance wouldn't be a bad idea. No, I'll tell you what, we need to get him to use our astral pearls for something. So, yes, he can forge Crowns of Command, so I'm going to have him forge a few of those. We may get to use them before the end of the campaign, but we may not, we'll see. Furcast is going to continue moving to golem range. These 2 mages were casting summons, as far as I'm aware, but we don't really need them to do that right now. I'm going to put them back on research, see if we can make sure we get that Blood Magic 8 before we continue down. Argias has quite a lot of units. I don't think he's going to be able to take all of these into the sea, so we're going to take, if I go, no he can't, so stay put. Let's take the goblins and put them in Myrsinos' army, and Myrsinos can have... We'll take the Horn of Valor off and give him a Seeking Goblet as well. So can Argias move down there? He can't, because he has too many Demon Knights with him. So we'll take, I think it's need to take 5 off of here, and we'll put them up there for now. Can you move down there now? You can. Excellent. Right, Myrsinos You can have a demon whip, so you can lead a few more demons, or some demons, full stop. Right, can you, I'm not sure if he'll be able to, he can move down there, great. Okay, so Myrsinos is going to lead another small force. Well, actually, I'll have these, do we have any fire resistance items? We don't, that's no, actually, does the demon whip? It doesn't, okay. Never mind. Right, we won't have them guard the commander because they might burn him alive, and we'd rather that didn't happen. So we will make sure that he is... We have one of our cavalry commanders up at the front. I just want to find out who that is. Islatos, right, we don't want you there, Islatos. We'll move you back. With our big clump of wizards and make sure you've got plenty of blood slaves, you do. Right, we'll take that Horn of Valor off, give you a Goblet of the Sea King. So, right, let's see. That should be right. That should be everyone. Let's make sure they all can move underwater. Let's give you a goblet. Juman, you can have a goblet. Islatos has a goblet. Kalimkar, you need a goblet. Narek has quite a large force. We'll take the Barkskin Amulet off and give him a Sea King goblet. Simai, you can have a goblet, and I want to bring, no, actually you can't, no. What we're going to do is we're going to prioritise the two mages we are bringing. So we'll bring Ainran, he's a bit more experienced and has no afflictions, and Mahina, who also has no afflictions and is also shrunken. Yes, well that's I suppose that's a good thing. Every other mage who doesn't have a goblet, we will leave them here. We may need them as blood casters. So all the mages we are taking, we need to fill up their blood slaves. We need to make sure we've got plenty of those. In fact, I'll give them 10 for now, because Islatos is carrying, he's ferrying us a bunch of blood slaves. Myrsinos will give you 10 as well, just to be on the safe side. Narek will give you 10. In fact, we'll take along some fire gems with us as well, just in case we need those. Let's just make sure they're all adequately supplied, right? We're all adequately supplied. And we'll try take as many men as we can. Let's see, Juman can take some sacred goblins, and Kagale can take some goblins. We'll sort them out once they're in Green Waters and we have our army prepared. All the other mages are going to be researching for the time being, just to try and make sure... Right, those mages are not going to be necessary either. Just make sure we get the right mages moving down there. You can patrol, you can research, ooh, messages. The undead mages need to move into the underwater as well, they're going to be very useful. And Burial is our only commander left. So, this is our third Archdevil. Burial has the ability to summon devils to his aid. So if we now try to give him a command, we have the option of summon allies, so he will summon devils for free. So what we're going to do is we're going to move him to Golem range as well. We want our Archdevils there, ready to protect our lands whilst we advance in on Underhome. So, I believe that's all of our units given commands. Recruiting plenty of new goblins here. Golem range, I need to remember to keep recruiting men, so we'll get... Oh, actually, we should be recruiting... I'm going to recruit a warrior mage. I'm going to keep them on recruit, because at the very least I can give them some helpful gear. And we're going to recruit some colossi as well. We need to make sure our garrison is as strong as it can be in Golem range, ready to protect against any Median incursions. Right. The Forest of Gila, we can't really recruit anyone of worth, but Nom, we may be able to pick up some more men. So next turn we'll see what Lift Razor's army can bring along with it. And we're getting very close indeed. I'm going to have Deepwood Gore actually start training units as well. Now, because it's underground, they're not going to have much chance to use ranged weapons. They'll get bad precision. So we'll recruit some more Colossi with Javelin. The Javelins won't need so much precision, but we'll get some Colossi Axemen as well, because they'll be a better melee line. And we'll put them on repeat recruit for a few turns. We just want to make sure that if the Medians do come down here, they actually have something to fight, rather than just breezing through our lands like, well, that we don't have any defenders in. Right, that should be everything, unless I'm forgetting something. No, I think that should be all. We're continuing blood hunting, unless we want some mercenaries. No real mercenaries we care about. Once the army's prepared, the army will be prepared next turn, so I am going to put a bid on the Whispering Legion, because he is a Deathcaster, which means one more person spamming skeletons, which is always nice. It's always nice. Other than that, no, I think we're alright other than that. Right, so next turn, we're going to move the army from Greenwaters into Baptizer, then into Whitewater, the Divine Ocean, and finally into Underhome. So that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the fifth turn we will capture Underhome. Lift Raise is moving to Nom, pick up units, move to Uzad Yazran, that's 2 turns. Attack the Lake of Fortune on his 3rd turn with the army from Moonsea, capture it on the 4th turn. So, 5 turns to go before our potential victory. It's not assured. We don't quite know what the Medians are going to throw at us to stop us moving to Underhome. And the Lunawatians might also complicate things by trying to move on to Numecria. So there's always the unknown variables we have to consider. But I think if we are lucky and our armies are well prepared, we should be able to capture these 2 thrones without any real consequence. We'll see how it goes. But since this was quite an uneventful turn, there's not too much to do since we're rallying the armies. So we shall end the turn there. Right, let's see how the turn goes. Quite a few more battles. Right, yeah, that's more like the message page that I'm used to. And we'll go over it next turn. Some interesting stuff for sure. Yeah, definitely. Right. And with that, I shall end the episode. It's been me, Chaff Commander Coffee. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.